meeting Malcolm Wilson and Martin Whitaker, director of Ford Motorsport, out to watch the stage. Watching, clicking the times, checking the form. My feeling is a little bit divided. I would prefer to take the wheel because I just did the 1,000 Lakes 25 years ago. But that's life, we have to do that. But I follow the rally in a French helicopter. Harry Vatanen has been driver for the French manufacturers Peugeot in the WRC and rally raids. Juha Kankkunen in the middle of a battle for first place. He was fastest on the first two special stages. Richard Burns, his teammate, he was fastest on special stage 3 and takes the lead 2 seconds ahead of his teammate Juha Kankkunen. Richard, who won the Acropolis Rally in Greece, is in superb form. And there's Richard looking very confident, talking to David Richards, his team boss of ProDrive.
I don't suppose the Finns are so happy, but I mean, it's stages that are quite narrow. They're a bit easier to note than the sort of longer, wider, faster roads that we have tomorrow. So I have to make the most of the fact that the other guys don't have such an advantage here.
And Juha Kankkunen arrives at service in second place behind his teammate, Richard Burns.
We did a lot of testing, and I did even a little rally here in Finland, and we did actually 1 week testing, and I was very happy after the test, and little improvements, and works well.
Tommi Mäkinen in the Mitsubishi Lancer. He complained at the end of special stage 2 that spectator marshals were standing in the road and cost him some time. But so far, no fastest time for Tommi, but he plays a canny game. Tommi is arriving in service.
Three stages down and the Subarus are leading. Are you surprised?
Yeah, a bit surprised. They seems to be very fast. But I know at least Juha's tire choice was completely different what we were using. We were using normal wide one, and Juha is using narrow one, which seems to be very good.
The Ford Focus of Colin Mcrae having some minor repairs done after slight suspension damage after hitting a rock on special stage 1. He was complaining the car at this stage was too soft.
He's not 100% happy with the notes. I mean, they're working okay, but they could be a lot quicker. Obviously, you know, he's never had that much good luck here, and one thing he desperately needs to do is drive over all the special stages this year so he can build up his experience of the pace notes.
Didier Auriol in the Toyota Corolla. Disappointment as well for Toyota. Today never in the battle for the top position. Carlos Sainz, 5th tonight. Both drivers complaining their cars were very nervous.
What's the thing to look out for in the Czech Republic? If you're a top rider, it's the checkered flag. And look out for Valentino Rossi. The former 125 champion is now leading the 250s. And in the 500s, Kenny Roberts Jr. will be at full throttle for a back-to-back win as he hunts down Alex Crivier. All the talk, all the action is right here, live. The Motorcycle World Championships qualifying tomorrow 12:30 CET, that's 11:30 AM UK time. And the races Sunday from 10 CET, 9 UK. With Hasseröder, the German premium beer.
Certina, Swiss watches since 1888.
And Suzuki, ride the winds of change. Do you know about motocross? Challenge yourself with this competition. Is Stefan Everts Italian, German or Belgian? Eurosport offers you the chance to win a magnificent 250cc Suzuki, as well as Pit Byra's race leathers and motocross t-shirts. Plus, you could win a fabulous trip to Australia. So call now, and good luck. Back to the FIA World Rally Championship with
Michelin,
The more we progress, the further you go.
There were some problems for young superstar Tony Gardemeister, the new Seat Cordoba Evo. He had a spin on special stage 5 and lost about 30 to 40 seconds. He lies 11th overnight. Tommi Mäkinen must have been a little disappointed.
You're playing, are you deliberately staying a little bit further back?
No. I was just coming. I tried some different setting with suspension, and it was not. We had some little oversteering problem with the car. I'm not sure. Not sure what it is, but they try to find everything, and I'm sure we can find out everything for tomorrow.
Are you worried?
No, not at all. It's still a long way to go.
After the first 6 special stages, the standings were very close. Apart from Colin Mcrae having trouble getting his suspension settings right, all the others seemed to be going well, and the final positions would be decided on the final stage of the day, the super special at Jyväskylä. Juha Kankkunen was to lie 2nd overnight, and Richard Burns, in his battle with his teammate, will lie 3rd, and I think deliberately took an 8-second slowness on the last special stage to lie 3rd overnight. Markus Grönholm, the leader tonight. In his 3rd rally in the 206 WRC, Markus Grönholm finished the day very strong and had fastest times on special stage 5 and 6, despite complaining of slight loss of power.
Marcus, every rally the new Peugeot 206 has done, it's been fast on, but it hasn't always lasted the distance. Do you think it can last the distance here?
Now I have the feeling, yes, we can do it. It's in the beginning we had small problems, but during the test before, so we have done a lot of kilometers without any problems. So I hope we can do it.
And so the leader overnight is Markus Grönholm, leading by 3.8 seconds from the teammates of Kankkunen and Burns, with Thomas Radström, the first Ford, 9.6 seconds behind. The star of the show is probably Marco Martin, the Estonian driver, who is in 10th. But the other battle is the 2-litre F2, featuring Hyundai, VW, Renault and Vauxhall. It's a big battle. Renault currently lead the championship, 22 points ahead of Hyundai, the big favourite for the title. But other challengers like Vauxhall and Volkswagen have come from the UK to challenge.
Very competitive, but it's good. We're looking forward to it because you know, a couple of the rallies this year we've been able to win by a comfortable margin, whereas here we're going to have to fight for every bit of it, which is, you know, good for the team, good for the drivers. I think Kaitaletto's got to be strong here, but Laukkanen I know is many people's favourite for the F2, and that's fine by us. You know, we'll take him on and we think we can beat him.
Tapio Laukkanen, the 30-year-old Finn who has just won the British Championship in his Renault. He's won 3 rallies in this series this year. He's a very fast driver, and many team managers are looking at him for next year. His teammate Martin Rowe is also here and looking for a good result. So overnight the position is Tapio Laukkanen leading by 17 seconds from Jarmo Kaitaletto in the Vauxhall, with Per Sven in an Opel Astra in 3rd place. So why don't you join us for the same time tomorrow for the most exciting day of this rally, and look out for Tommi Mäkinen. I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve.
The FIA World Rally Championship with Ford.
Michelin. The more we progress, the further you go.
And Valvoline, driving the world.
This is Tony Delahunty welcoming you to day 2 of the FIA World Championship from Finland, round 10, with the Finnish Midlands playing host to the teams and the fans. And with only 4 rounds to go, the series leaders will not be taking it easy. The picturesque settings of lakes and trees belies the tough nature of the stages to come. Clear blue skies greeted the surviving cars at the start of leg 2, and the crews heading south facing more than 14 hours on the road. The running order of the day, as you see it there: Gronholm, then Kankkunen, Britain's Burns, then Radstrom, Mäkinen, Oriol, Rovanperä, Sainz, Mcrae, and Delacour completing that. Well, on only the 3rd rally of the year, Peugeot were impressive. Marcus Gronholm was out first and posting quick times, but as first on the road he faced the worst of the loose gravel, making the conditions slippery. The leading cars would help sweep the stages clear, leaving the following cars more grip. We'll go in car with Marcus Gronholm. Marcus shone here in 97 and 98 with Toyota, and his knowledge of the stages was proving valuable. The question was, could he hold on to his lead with such a formidable lineup to follow? At the end of stage 13, he had set a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes and 15.4 seconds. Here he is.
Yeah, if we are 4th or something, it would be the best 4th, 5th, but 10 seconds after the leader, so it would be the best.
Juha Kankkunen, Subaru, his home rally, and determined to show that his win in Argentina was not luck.
Flat right over crest, 150. Small crest, 150.
Trying a new tread pattern on stage 10 didn't bring the results they were looking for, but he was still consistently quicker than Gronholm. Again, the rough conditions suiting the Subarus, proving that the Pirellis could be equally as good as the Michelins. Following his 2nd place in New Zealand, Kankkunen is still very much in the championship hunt. At the end of special stage 13, he was ahead of Gronholm by a full just 6 seconds.
Sun shining, good weather.
Kankkunen's teammate Richard Burns was 3rd on the road after a decision on leg 1 to lose the lead and deliberately slipped down the order. He hoped for clearer stages.
40, flat right plus, straight 60 flat right, 50 slow flat left, in 100.
Burns' first object was to beat his teammate Kankkunen, and the Englishman's performance was impressing all the Finnish drivers. His lack of experience meant that setting the car up for the jumps was difficult. With his co-driver Robert Reid, Burns would continue to employ all the tactics he could to leave himself in a good position for leg 3. Burns was using Kankkunen's tracks to help show him the way. After stage 13, he was only 5.5 seconds behind the Finn. A loose drinks bottle surprised the Ford Focus driver Thomas Radstrom. Losing time, he was then to experience a mystery loss of power. Despite benefiting from clearer stages, he began to drop back.
Flat right, long easy left, 150. Long crest 100.
Thomas was driving hard and smooth, but the car was not matching his performance. Having started so well, it was a disappointment as he dropped back. The team engineers started to thoroughly check over the Focus, as the Swedes' rally was by no means over yet. And there it shows Kankkunen 5.5 seconds, not long ahead of Burns, then Gronholm, then Radstrom. Tommi Mäkinen, the master of the Finnish rally, was still focused on getting his 6th consecutive win. The Lancer was running well, but starting with 18 seconds adrift would make it difficult to get on terms with Kankkunen. But Mäkinen regularly beat the times of the Subarus and closed the gap on Kankkunen. He was now only 8 seconds adrift.
Pitkä oikein nopea, plus helppo aukeaa vähän 8 ylös. Tykkä oikealta jatkuu, pitkä helppo vasen miinus. Pirun pitkä oikein täys miinus yli.
The Finn was wondering what he had to do to break into the top 3, but the car was not performing as he'd hoped. A puncture on stage 13, but he was still in the top 6.
We had a little bit problem in the morning, and we started with too soft tire compound, and then we had some problem with front suspension, and that was the reason why we went so fast in the morning. But now everything seems to be alright.
Meanwhile, Didier Auriol was finding the Toyota impossible to drive. Even on straight sections, the Frenchman found the car difficult to control. Having started the leg with over 20 seconds to the leader, he began dropping away. Only failing to finish in the points once this year, things were not looking good for Auriol. In the hope of improving the situation, both front and rear differentials were changed, but the team didn't seem sure as to where the problem was. Let's hear from the Toyota team manager.
There seems to have been some form of imbalance in the transmission there somewhere.
The determined not to give up, Auriol returned but couldn't get anywhere near the times of the leading cars. With over half the rally run, he was nearly 2 minutes behind. Seventh on the road, the Seat of Harry Rovanperä. The newly styled and tuned Cordova had looked impressive on leg 1, and the Finn would begin to climb the leaderboard.
5. Pidä oikein täyskirraa ylös. Jatkaa huomioon. Hyppy keskeltä sisälle ja vasen.
However, he found it difficult to find his rhythm. Understeer at the rough stages took their toll on the Seat Pirellis, and he could not stay with the leading group. By the end of stage 13, he was over 40 seconds away. A 10-second penalty had given to Carlos Sainz for the jump start at the end of leg 1. But having changed the suspension settings, the Corolla had begun to fly. Toyota's hopes now rested on the ever-popular Spaniard.
We changed slightly the car, and I can push a little bit more now.
And he certainly did, with clear roads and having found a good setup. He outpaced everyone, faster and faster and faster and faster. 9, 10, 11 and 13 were Sainz's. Climbing the leaderboard with each stage, it was a stunning drive by the Spaniard. Soon he was only 1.8 seconds behind Ua Kankkunen. After the first 8 cars, though, it was Kankkunen a whisker in front of Sainz, Burns and Grönholm. As the excitement and the tension mounted at the top of the leaderboard, could 9th man on the road, Colin Mcrae, join the fray. Despite it being only the second time that he had driven the leg 2 stages, he was feeling confident with the focus. Mcrae launched into the attack, and the Scotsman moved up the leaderboard.
100. Cage jump into slight left over jump. And 6 left tightens and 6 right over crest into left over crest.
An early brake problem was solved, but a stall on stage 12 lost him valuable seconds. He managed to finish in the top 6, 45 seconds from the lead car. But one thing is certain, The notorious Finnish jumps were taking their toll on the Ford car. Meanwhile, Francois Delacour could not come to terms with the terrain and gradually lost ground.
Bref, gauche 110 bon. Gauche 110 bon, bref. 100 mètres, gauche 110 cordes. 110 bon, bref, okay. Bon, voir. Gauche 110 cordes. 110 cordes, ouais. 100 mètres, droite 125, longue corde. Par 30 mètres, gauche 90 bon, tard.
On stage 12, a broken differential lost him nearly a minute.
125, 50 mètres, droite 105 cordes. Droite 105 cordes. Puis gauche à fond.
He was so far behind, he could only use the remainder of the rally to gain information for next year. Tony Gardemeister, after a disappointing first leg, ran straight into trouble with a spin. This happened here on stage 8. Differential trouble reared its head again. Nevertheless, the car was showing that it had a pace with a third fastest time on stage 12. He still, though, was over 2 minutes behind. More still to come on today's Finnish rally in just a moment.